Hey, welcome back. KTCR Sharp Teeth, episode 11. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being a part of Killed Cat Radio's project Sharp Teeth. We're going to go right into it. We're going to start right up. I know we've been off the air for a couple weeks. Just to let everyone know, I'm doing fine. There was a minor, pretty major health situation that went down in the last couple of weeks. So I've been unable to talk to you guys. So I just wanted to say hello and the business as usual. We're going to keep moving on this thing, and we're going to keep sharing entertainment, news, crazy little rants, whatever I decide to do on this interesting program. Yes, we will go right back to our Friday and Monday release pattern. Health is a bitch. That's, what do they say about health? You know, if you have your health, you have all of your wealth. And then conversely, if you have a bunch of money, it can never save you from bad health, all of that stuff. So in a way, I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm really happy to be back with you guys and welcome back to another program. Please go ahead if you would like to subscribe and have not yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free. Please comment down below. We will address all of your criticisms, compliments, and comments in the talkback section in each episode. We got our 90s clipboard as usual. This is what we do here. Over here, we've got the guitar, going. We got our statuette over here with the Mardi Gras beads. Those are Mardi Gras beads. Actually from Mardi Gras. Somebody asked that. If those beads on the statue, whatever that statue is, those are legit. And then, of course, we got another little book here. This is, I think it's called Hemingway's Paris. It's a bunch of still photographs about my favorite city other than New York City and New Orleans here in the United States. And so let's get right into our episode. This is the facts and figures section. So we have over 1,500 watchable hours thus far. We have, as I said, 46 members, and we are growing each week. In fact, we have the highest watchable hours right now since starting this channel a mere 2 months ago. A couple other facts and figures I'd like to talk about. Again, talking about my health. I think I'm okay. If you never see me again, well, I'm probably dead. So sorry about that. Maybe one of you guys can take over the sharp teeth portion. We'll have a guest commentator in there. There's always 3 points each week on our fancy little board here. The 1 and 2s and the 3s of what we're going to talk about this week. And of course, we have your guys' favorite section, Creep of the Week. Creep of the Week. And man, even though it's springtime, there's a lot of creeps out there. There's a lot of strange things going on in news media. I do have a wonderful Creep of the Week, and it's a little personal advice to you guys. Talkback section right here. Talkback. We'll get into that. We do have a couple different criticisms this week that I'd like to discuss. Without further ado, let's get into it. I've been thinking a lot about language, how we use language, and what language means to you and to me. The great writer, William S. Burroughs, great beat writer, kind of a heroin addict, strange man, sort of older beat writer character. He said language is a virus, that once it gets into you, it's hard to get it out of you. So certain words and certain ideas can have a sort of a viral aspect to the way we look at life. We can transfer this virus by just listening to horrible people, but also, like a lot of great professors I've had in my life, you can also exchange very interesting information to other people by using good sort of language viruses. So, not everything bacterial is bad for you. So something to think about. However, may I say, yes, we do come to a critical part of this program here, and number one thing is stop saying these words or phrases. Now, I promise you, some of these words and phrases that I am about to criticize, I have done before. I will tell you which ones I have used, and I'll tell you ones that I've never used and would never come out of my mouth. But there are a couple different things I've been seeing. You got to remember, I live here in Brooklyn, New York, so I hear every kind of slang. And I wrote it on these little note cards. See, this is some more 90s stuff right here, using note cards. Only $1 for like 100 of these. You can get away with so much with that. I don't think this is in any kind of order or anything like this, but this is definitely worse words and phrases that need to be stopped and ended in 2023. First one I've heard a lot, and I don't know why I wrote all this in this order, but I think you've probably heard this. What the fuck is this? Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Yes. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I don't know what you're talking about here. I know what you're trying to do. I know that maybe this was famous on a TV show or something, and then just kind of passed through. Maybe it was definitely pre-COVID, this kind of bizarre yes, queen. And it's not even that, the whole yes, queen thing that gets me. It's the extending of the vowels of any sentence. Have you ever been to this cafe? Yeah. The overextension of vowels. Now, interestingly enough, I studied linguistics in the university, and I've also studied other languages, and a lot of other languages. If you think about it, like the Spanish language or the French language, if you were to greet somebody, you could just say "Ça va," right? So you'd raise the question mark at the end of the dialogue, and the other person would say "Ça va." And so you do this little verbal dance, it's like, if you're using slang Mexican, it would be, ¿Qué onda, güey? You know what I mean? Like you would like extend it at the end there, right? That would be interesting. But when you're just doing these normal statements, like, so I went to the movies, that you're not asking a question. I don't know what you're doing. And I think this Yaz Queen bizarre phenomenon is part of this sort of tick, some sort of mental tick, or at least some coded language you're trying to express about something about who you are as a person using these bizarre little extremes. It's really, I hear it everywhere and it drives me nuts. I know you didn't learn how to speak English like that. We don't teach that in normal vocabulary English classes. We don't talk like that. Similar, another phrase, which I've really been hearing a lot, and I cannot stand this. I don't know what this is about either, but it's closely related to the Yaz Queen thing. It's, I love that for you. I love that for you. I love that for you. What is it? I love that for you. I love that for you. I mean, that's cool. I mean, that sounds like on the surface, it feels like it's kind of, okay, thanks. Thank you. Thank you, whoever's saying it. Thank you, strange anonymous person telling me, I love that for you. I think it's more scary if it comes from a person you barely even know. Like I could see if like your mom or your dad or your cousin or your, you know what I mean? Your best friend says, I love that for you. You know, or maybe you just been through a hardship. Like you don't have to go back to the war. You just say, I love that for you, that you don't have to go back to that. But this odd kind of not even knowing who the person is, but then going, I love that for you. And you don't really know them. First of all, I love that would mean that the person who's saying I loves the idea of that for you, as if they know who you are in that small amount of time. I've actually had someone, I've told somebody, I said, I'm a writer, and like, I love that for you. You didn't even read my shit yet. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's another favorite one I have. And this again is like kind of linguistic annoyance and this happens a lot when I was a bartender and when I was waiting tables, or even if you're just trying to talk to somebody, just maybe on the subway or something, you'll ask a person a question and you'll say, oh, hey, is the subway going this direction? And then the person kind of seems like not really like there. And they'll be like, what happened? What happened? What happened? It's like worse than Bill and Ted. Maybe they're stoned. I don't know. But it's almost, let me try to explain that the idea to you. I don't know if this has happened to you guys, but it's like, hey, what's going on? Maybe it's a stranger and be like, what happened? What happened? Like nothing happened. I'm actually saying, I'm asking you, or I'm proposing a statement to you and asking you a question. Like nothing happened. Nothing happened yet. Maybe I'm asking if something's going to happen, and maybe you're confused. You'd be like, what happened? But this whole like, what happened? It's like, no. Nothing happened. You're supposed to say stuff like, someone says like, hey, is the train going downtown right now? You say, excuse me? Like, you didn't hear that. You didn't hear it. I think that's what they're trying to say. You didn't hear what they said. So you said, what happened? Right? Instead of saying like, pardon, like the French do, or excuse me, or I did. I'm sorry. Like that sort of, that's an interesting way of saying like, I didn't hear what you had to say, but what happened seems like you're lost or something. Like, what happened? Where am I? What happened? Yeah, so that shit's got to end. Okay. We're going to move on to a new part of it. I don't say any of those three things I just criticized. There are three things that I do use that I'm really trying to work against. And I see this in everybody. I see this in politicians. I see this in news media personalities. I see it in me. I see it in my friends. I see it people I'm talking to on the phone. Frankly, the more we remove this stuff from our language, the better we're going to feel about our lives. And there are three words. Okay. One is like. You already know that one. If you say like every other three words, not only are you saying that you are not even thinking about what you're talking about, or you don't really know how to use a sentence properly, which is okay. You can learn to do that. Or something maybe is wrong with you. I do it all the time. Like, say, right? It'd be something like that. Like, so someone's, giving me some kind of retort to an argument. I say, well, like, well is another one, but it's like less used. Well, like maybe now that could be a little bit more of a kind of a pause, a backpedal in a sort of like argument or what have you. But I use it too. But you guys all know, just stop saying like. It happens more on the West Coast of California. It drives me nuts. In fact, when I'm at bars or in restaurants or around regular people, if I hear the word like used constantly, like over and over again, I'm always like, hey, are you from Florida or California? The other one you hear from a lot of politicians. Okay. They open up a statement with listen, or as Biden's one is always look. Obama did it too. Look. Now here's what we got to say here. Now look. Now look. Listen. Look. Listen. Look. Listen. Look, listen, look. It's crazy. Once you see it now in media, you can't unsee it. So every time I see it, I'm like, oh, fuck. I just said, like, I told you, I am guilty of this stuff too, so don't feel bad. The only one I'm a little bit nervous about, because I do use it, but I can kind of understand why it's being used. I don't think this is an intellectual fault or a fallacy, is when you end a sentence, you make a declarative sentence that you're trying to get across to whoever you're talking to. And you say, the sun is very hard, right? Right. You lean into the right. It's opposite than the right. That's that. I'm not talking about that. You're trying to make a point with somebody and you say, everybody loves that beach, right? Or no, it's more, it could even be more controversial than that. It could be, generally speaking, it's when you're trying to prove a point and you want the person that you're talking to understand your point and agree with you. So that's sort of a bait. Even if you're saying something to somebody that probably disagrees with you and even disagrees with that statement, even adding a comma, right, at the end of the statement is sort of trying to give a psychological cue to the person you're talking to that you want them to agree with you. So we could say like, all Italians are gangsters, right? So mean to my own Italian heritage. I mean, I love being Italian. It's great, right? That's what I mean by that. And once you start hearing it, you're going to hear it everywhere. It needs to be stopped. Like, right, and listen. Look. We'll throw a look on there too. Look. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Listen. Da-da-da-da. Listen. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? You're trying to make a point. The right at the end of the dialogue, you're trying to get them into your fold. Other words that must be completely destroyed in 2023 that make no real sense. That makes me go crazy. If another person says, this is just my truth, that phrase, this is just my truth. It's my truth. It's my truth. There's a word I'd like you readers to look up in the dictionary. It's called myopic. Just type it in. Just type in myopic. All right. Myopic. Okay. Okay. It just is a simple way of constantly putting everything in the frame of what you think it's supposed to be. You're not even thinking outside of it. It'd be the ultimate aspect of subjectivity if you say my truth. And even worse, if you were to say my truth in an argument with someone else. So someone can be like, hey, the sun's out and it's hot all the time. And be like, well, you know what I mean? My truth. I don't know. My truth. I work at night, so I really don't see the sun. It's my truth. It's like almost an easy way out of disagreeing with somebody. So you'd be like, well, my truth. Also, it kind of stems into that strange identity problem where it's like, if you experience something, then it must be true. Again, going back to that subjective universe argument, where you must think that the whole world is somehow part of your perspective. So just because something didn't happen when you were watching it, didn't happen because that's your truth. But let me defy objective versus subjective reality problems right now for you on camera. This is a glass of water. All right. Now, I could be subjective about this glass of water. I could say it's warm to me, or it's cold to the taste, or it's heavy, or it's not heavy to me. That's subjective. You're right. It is subjective. Maybe I like water. Maybe I'm, not that thirsty right now. Maybe I'm really thirsty, and this really needs to get into my body right now. But no matter what, this is how you prove an objective universe to anybody. Okay. And I want you to use this as an example to prove that there is an objective reality on this planet Earth. 99.999999999% of the time, I drop this glass, it breaks and spills water all over my floor. Name one universe that if I drop this glass, look, you can see in the glass, there's a lot of stuff in there. That's not air. This is not magic. 99.9999999 times I drop this glass right now on the camera. Whoop, just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, you try to square it, any place on this planet, if I drop this. So yes, there is an objective universe. You may not be around to see it. Your truth may not be around to see it, but it's there. I think part 2 and part 3 of the show are a little bit similar. So I'll kind of like interweave them. So let's just call this part 2 and part 3, like kind of squeezed together. When did it become a trend where young people who maybe 21 years old, and they're adults. Those are adult people. They've been through it. They've been through puberty. They probably have had jobs. They probably fucked somebody once or twice. They've got some kind of experience on the planet. Maybe they made a little money. Maybe they traveled a little bit, maybe they have a fantastic education. 21 years old, good age. You're kind of are fully formed. You can go to the bars. When did this new trend start where those people, that age group, started talking shit to the age group above them? When did that become okay? I don't know about you guys, but when I was young, if I talked shit to my elders, my mother would be pissed. I mean, I was raised with manners. Like, I was raised, if someone was older than you, even if they were an idiot, you don't talk shit to them unless they start something really bad with you. If they start something with you, you can finish it. But when did this trend start with? I have been told so many times, just like having like regular sentences with people. You can't say this. You can't act like that. You can't bring that up. You can't do this. You can't. It confuses me a little bit. I'm only 46 now. Thank you very much. It was my birthday last weekend. So, old man over here, thank you for your birthday wishes. When did it become cool or acceptable or even permitted for people who are younger just start talking shit to older people? I can't even imagine doing that at my age. And let's say I meet somebody who's 80 and they're total idiots. What if they're total idiots? They have no idea what's going on. And they're espousing all, I mean, other than like hurting children and like trying to drive their car into somebody, that's the only time I would ever get involved with an adult's problem that is older than me. Now, if we're peers, you might hear a thing or two from me, but I also don't lecture the youth either. I mean, I'm not just going around telling them what to do. I mean, I think generally peers is kind of a good where to kind of square that circle. You know what I mean? Just really to get that going. But I've seen this trend going, like, who do these kids think they are? Now, I know I sound like a crazy older guy, but I'm pretty fucking hip. I mean, like, I'm part of the internet generation. I know what's going on. I'm Gen X. I know what's happening. When did it become cool to just immediately, and you don't know somebody. I don't mind if someone knows me for a while. And it kind of goes back to the words, if someone's like, I love that for you, that's okay if you know somebody for a while. But when did this sort of immediate personalization come between strangers? When did it become all right to say anything to anybody? Now, in New York City, if you say the wrong thing to the wrong person, that could be your ass. You know what I mean? Like, that could be a fight right there. That could be, you could end up in the hospital if you pull some shit like that with anybody. So I don't know where these kids learn this stuff from. And that's my second question. Where was all the good parents? I mean, parenting involves three things. Number one, you have sex with somebody and then they get pregnant and then they have a baby. Now you and that other person have a baby and now you're parents. So right there, that's the first rule. Second rule is you have to watch this kid grow up and feed them and try to teach them things. Get them through those early stages of being a baby, waddling the floor, shitting themselves and peeing everywhere. Get them, get that shitting and peeing thing done. Then get that eating thing handled, right? And then the third thing a parent's got to do is teach them how to exist in the world. So I almost don't even want to blame these youngsters for their bullshit they're pulling. I want to kind of blame the parents. I am a consistent and poignant parent blamer. Anytime I see somebody younger than me, I'm going, oh, there it is. I don't ever want to meet this person's parents. I can't believe their lack of manners. Where did they learn how to roll in the universe? Which then teaches me something that wherever they came from, those parents of their parents were assholes too. And perhaps there is a great tree lineage of assholeness going on. And it just needs to be all cut down. The tree of democracy will be spilled upon the blood of the... Wait, what is the quote on that one? I think I'm conflating quotes. Yeah. All right. I gotta go back to history class. Which leads us to point 3. Is that some people are even using language and words inaccurately. Like, there used to be a really great thing called a dictionary. Something even more fun called a thesaurus. That gets me more excited. But no, a dictionary where everybody's like, all right, we all speak English. Every country has a dictionary of their own language. And you can see slowly over time, yeah, we make little adjustments and that's okay. Like, things have to change. We have to, move with society. We have to be progressive in some ways. But if you start saying the sun and look up the sun in the dictionary and it sort of looks like the moon, that's not the sun, man. That's completely different. That doesn't even make any sense. So I'm realizing that so many people are full of words that they have no idea what they even mean. And I'm not just talking nouns, I'm talking verbs. The verb part is what I'm really scared of. I think a lot of people are pretty understandable what a car is. I think 98% of people understand what certain nouns are. Verbs can be kind of altered. And if you're an artist like me, you can use them. That's what writers have in our toolbox. But some of these people are using ideas of language and of words that they don't even understand what it means. If you don't have a baseline of what things mean, much going back to like holding a glass of water and saying, wow, no, yeah, in some universe, if he drops that glass of water, it won't fall. It's like, okay, buddy, like, I don't know what you're talking about. It seems to me that just a lot of younger people, and you know what, unfortunately, people my age and even older, are just using words that they have no idea what they mean. And it's not that they're uneducated, but try to imagine this terrible fact. The average American person reads 12 books after university until they're dead. Learning just doesn't stop in the university after you graduate. Hopefully, you're like me and other people like myself who use every day as a way to learn something new. It sounds cliche and stupid and preachy and whatever, but no, it really helps invigorate you and really uses this, you know? This is a muscle just as much as these are muscles. You know what I mean? You need to use this stuff. Every day you use it, you get stronger and stronger. They also mean, down below, if you know what I'm talking about. I just see a whole world full of words that no one knows what it means. And without the proper manners and without the proper words, language is a virus. Language will destroy you. In fact, if you don't have good manners and you're not using your words properly and you're purposely or at least accidentally using crappy words that we listed in part 1 of this every day, what are you doing to the world? Your language is the virus. What kind of viral bacteria do you want to put into your fellow human being in civilization? Do you want to put good bacteria into the stomach so they can devour food and give us energy? Or do you want to be like a virus that kills you and kills an entire civilization with it? Choice is yours. Creep of the week. Oh, man. Creep of the fucking week. Creep of the week this week, as I say, never has to be an actual person, place, or theory or idea. It could be all three. This week is a very specific organization, and it's my internet service provider. And that name, the hellish name, is Spectrum. Anyone who lives in New York knows about these absolute thieves and assholes. I don't know what internet company you have in your neighborhood or where you live or whoever you pay to get internet and have access to it. Every human being should have access to the internet if they can, at least get it at the public library or Starbucks or whatever. But if you're like me, you use one product and one product only, your computer. I don't have a TV. I connect my phone to my computer. That's how I have my internet service. Anyways, I had a little experience with them the other day, and I work online, as you can see, doing all this kind of stuff, and randomly just went out for 4 hours. Okay. Now, I'm sure a lot of you coders out there and people who really need internet, or media people, or people who, have to use their internet for jobs, like your employment status. If your computer goes down for 4 hours, you're losing money, especially if you're a freelancer. Now everybody's trying to get a hold of you, and now you just look like you just fucked off. And usually we're kind of nice about it, aren't we, as people? Like, we kind of go, okay, well, maybe it's technical difficulties and et cetera, et cetera. Or maybe there's been some act of God, force majeure. Some lightning bolt came down and struck the antenna or your satellite or whatever you use. Well, I decided to put a stop to this the other day, ladies and gentlemen. Kill the Cat Radio, Sharp Teeth does not fuck around here. And certainly Matthew Diabate does not fuck around. So I called these people and I said, hey, you put me out of 4 hours. Now, from now on, I'm going to keep track of every time internet goes down, even if it's for 5 minutes. I'm going to keep track of every minute that is your fault for the internet going down. I understand if it's my fault, if I didn't pay the bill, or if I'm a bum, fine, get me on that. You guys are never too lazy about trying to get your money, are you? You don't get that money, you'll turn that stuff off real quick, won't you? My creep of the week is Spectrum and the internet people. But this also goes to a lot of kind of bigger businesses that sometimes that we just go, oh, well, we just got to pay the bills and go along with it. We should just be happy with what we have, et cetera, et cetera. Fuck that. So I called them up and I started telling them, I said, okay, well, what's your refund policy? They said, refund policy? I said, yeah, I've tracked now minutes that I lost trying to do my job, and you guys just had a situation that went out, and they're like, oh, sir, we'll test your test your materials, see if your power's on. They're trying to get you on it. I said, oh, please go ahead. And just keep in mind, this phone call is being recorded. See what I did there? Because how they always say that to you? What they're trying to do is cover your ass. Now, if you tell them because you have an iPhone or you have a phone that records, and by the way, and always do it nice because it's not the operator's fault. They just work there. They're just working class people. All right. It's not their fault. It's the big company policy stuff, right? When they're going to go check on their own stuff and find out this thing, just say, and I just wanted to let you know that this phone call is being recorded. Watch how quick they clam up about what they're going to say to you. They're going to change their attitude really fast. I've actually had Spectrum tell me, if you're not happy with our service, you can go elsewhere. Yeah. Now, they're a monopoly here in New York City. I can't even think of another. I think maybe there's 2 other internet services, but that's pretty shitty to say to a customer. If you don't like what we're doing here, you could leave because they're so powerful or they think they're powerful. But if you say, this is recording, I'm also keeping this on recording. So anyway, so long story short, the lady comes back and she says, well, we do have a policy. If it's over 4 hours, funny enough, it just so happened to be over 4 hours, we will give you a refund. And I said, oh, well, how much refund for 4 hours? Because, let's say you make like $25 an hour online, right? Like, what would you get? So that's about $100 if I lose 4 hours. She's like, let me do the calculations, sir. We're going to go ahead and credit to your account $2.31. Oh my God. You would even accept those terms in a gambling house in Koreatown at 3 a.m. high on cocaine. That is the worst kind of odds I've ever heard in my life. So I said, oh, where can you send me the policies that I signed to these refund agreements? And who can I talk to about renegotiating refund agreements when it has to do to losing work on an hourly basis online, when it's actually your guys' power that shuts down and not mine? Can you send me the document where I sign onto that refund policy with your organization? Can we put you on hold, sir? Tick, 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 tick. Now I just put that over there just on a speakerphone and just started doing some writing on the side. They didn't get back to me for 5 hours. They didn't even get back, period. Now I could have fought it and fought it and fought it and fought it. But the creep of the week are these big, powerful power institutions, right? That if you don't stand up for yourself or put a little fear into them and really kind of show that you're doing your due diligence as a customer and as a citizen of the United States who actually hires these people to do jobs for you. And if you don't get in their little faces, be nice to the operators. I told you, be nice to the working class. But there's a big power system behind it all. And you need to fight that power system at all costs. The creep of the week of these monopoly systems, specifically Spectrum in New York City. Go fuck yourself. Get your consumer numbers on the phone so you get them all together. Educate yourself and never, ever stop fighting. Always represent yourself. Always be smart when you do it. Always show manners and politeness because language is a virus. So use that virus to your advantage. Let's go to the talkback section. What do we have here? All right. There are 3 major questions that I'll answer tonight. Let's see here. This was written in. Who writes your scripts for the show? Me. There's no scripts. This is just me riffing it. And then I edit it quickly. I do my own cuts. And that's why it's a little jumpy at times. Sometimes people think that's a little weird. I think it's kind of funny. It reminds me of Max Headroom in the 80s and 90s on MTV. Remember remember that guy, no one writes my scripts. I write my scripts. There's not even a script. There's a clipboard. It's just me, baby. Just me rambling on. Just talking about what I think about this week. Next question. How do you decide your topics? You said politics, news, entertainment, media. I see more media and opinion than politics and news. That's a good question. Really good question. I appreciate for you giving me the feedback on this. It's been more media, in my opinion, because it's whatever's kind of was in the ether at that time. That's what I want to address. There's so many podcasts talking about what's going on in the news today. I mean, come on. We had a major president in my city just like a couple days ago. I could have talked all about that. I think that's already been talked to death. I could talk about modern news and all the problems that are going on in other countries, perhaps international countries, that there might be World War III, maybe. Plenty of podcasts talking about that right now. I want to talk about the things that aren't being talked about. Occasionally, I will dance into the news because I'm a news junkie. I'm also a political junkie. I'm also an entertainment junkie, and I'm an opinion junkie. And media is awesome, and I love getting into it. And as you can see, I mean, this is the 11th episode. You can go back and listen to the other ones. Don't listen to the first one because that's when I'm most embarrassing. That was the first one. I don't think I talked about anything. It was probably my most fun because I had no idea what to do. You guys could laugh at me. But now that we're getting serious, no, I will talk about politics. I think I mentioned some politics in the last episode. There's been some news, things that pop up, and I love entertainment and I love media life. I love arts and culture and different things that go on. But mainly, I just want to talk with you about stuff that you don't really hear a lot in a way that is more unique than what you see on your average, well-produced kind of programs. And one day we will be a wonderfully well put together program. But right now, I like this. I like where we're at right now. I like my little crappy mic. I like my little crappy camera. I think it works. We're doing okay. The internet has set us free. What else is the other? Oh, thanks. That's nice. So there was a really nice person who sent in some stuff, doesn't even know who I am, and just really complimented everything that we're doing. So you know who you are. Thank you very much. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate the compliments. Thanks for being there. Tell all your friends. I don't know if they like weird things like this. Some guy in an orange studio, here in Brooklyn. If they dig that kind of thing, let them know. All right, that concludes our episode tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe below if you haven't subscribed at all. We are on the social medias. You can follow us at Kill the Cat Radio on all the major big three social media monsters. I'll probably release this episode tomorrow. But we'll go right back to our normal Friday and Monday release program of Kill the Cat Radio Sharp Teeth. I hope everybody out there is happy and healthy. Let's set a little wishes over here so I can remain healthy and happy. I will try my best. Try to keep strong like a bull. Thanks for listening. I will see you soon on the next episode. And stay curious, weirdos. Bye-bye.